Kelly's Hacker 70, Merida Big.Nine 5000. Very similar bikes. Both are made for cross-country racing. We've got Slovakian engineers versus German engineers. Price super similar, about 2,500 euros, a little bit less than that. And the weight, even on my scale, is almost the same. It's roughly 11.4 for the Kellys, 11.5 for the Merida, but really the weight of these two bikes is completely different. Let me tell you about that problem. Carbon frame in large for Merida, carbon frame in medium size for the Kellys, so medium should be, I think, less than 100 grams lighter than the large, so the weight should be the same for the same size of those two bikes. We've got 29-inch wheels, we've got 2x11 XT SLX drivetrain, but you can only swap a couple of parts and the weight of these bikes will differ a lot. So what do we really have it? In Kelly's case, it's very simple. You've got an XT group set with the SLX cassette, meaning XT brakes, XT shifters, XT crankset, XT rear derailleur, XT front derailleur. Only the cassette comes from the SLX group set, which is still 11 speed, right? In the Merida Big.Nine 5000, we've got XT crankset, XT rear derailleur, and that's it. The cassette, the front derailleur, and the shifters comes from the SLX group set, and the brakes come from the non-group set. It's the MT500. I would say it's just the Diorish brakes. Braking nicely, not as powerful as the XT, still good brakes, but yes, Kelly's should cost that $300 more than the Merida, or maybe even more than that. Because then when we go to the forks, on your right side we've got the Manitou marker, which you know I love, 30mm stanchions, but it is stiff, it is great. It's got the remote control for the lockout on the handlebars. But the characteristics of this one are not as good as the Fox 32 Performance, meaning basically for the performance on the cross-country tracks, I need to put almost zero sag on the Markor so that it won't be too soft for me. And on the Fox, you would be looking for some 20% of the sag, just as on the normal fork. So the Manitou Marco doesn't have those characteristics. It's super good for the price that it costs, but yes, Fox 32 Performance is better. And in this case, since it doesn't have the step cast chassis, it's, in my opinion, it's stiff enough for 29er wheels. One plus for Merida. Merida has got the carbon seat post versus alloy seat post on the Kellys, but now let's go for all the weights. And now the interesting part. This is the comparison of Kellys versus Merida, but if you buy other brand, Trek, Scott, Specialized, any other bikes, Canyon bikes, you will know now that the weight of the bike isn't necessarily mostly the frame, because you will see huge difference between these two bikes. By the way, very close to the Kellys setup and same price, at least in Poland, is the Scott Scale 910. It's got the 1x12 drivetrain, but otherwise super similar and could be a little bit lighter than this one. Maybe mainly because of the 2x drivetrain. But let's see the weight. So 11.5 for a large Big.Nine, 11.4 for medium Hacker. Now see this. When you swap the tires, I mean, when you take the Maxxis Icon and put it on the Crossmax wheels of the Kellys goes down from 11.4 to 10.9, which is a huge difference, and the investment is around 60-70 bucks or so. 500 grams. You very rarely save half a kilo on the bike by investing just $70 or so. This is the basic Maxxis Icon, not wired, but basic one without tubeless ready system. These are the tubeless ready Schwalbe Ray and Racing Ray and Racing Ralph. So tubeless ready is always heavier, but we are making these as tubeless as well, no problem. Okay, so 10.9 for the Hacker with the icons. Then Hacker with the wheels of the Big.Nine. So we take the wheels, we take the Merida Expert wheels and put it on the Hacker. Then it weighs 11 kilograms, meaning that the wheels are 100 grams heavier and it fits. But then when you take the Big.Nine and put the Hacker's wheels on it, it will weigh 11.9 kilograms, which is way too much for the bike of that price, for the hardtail, carbon hardtail of that price. So you can see how much weight sits in the wheels, specifically in the tires. Racing Ralph, Racing Ray are my favorite tires, but the basic tubeless ready model of those is heavy, is very heavy. So let's see the weights. First, the wheels. Crossmax front wheel with the rotor, 1020 grams. Rear wheel, 1150 grams. And then the through axles, 76 versus 55. And then we have the Merida Expert front wheel, 1030 grams with these heavier, cheaper rotors. Rear, 1200 grams. And then the through axles, 65, 64. So you gain here and you lose there. This is how it looks like. When we go further for the inner tubes, CST on the Hacker, so changing tires inner tubes. Two inner tubes will weigh 298 grams. And the inner tubes of the Schwalbe from this bike, 432 grams. Lots of weight difference as for the inner tubes only. Now, Racing Ralph, the rear tire of the Hacker, 785 grams. Racing Ray, 779 grams. Both tires on my scale will show something like 1,567 grams versus 1,220 grams for the icons. So each icon weighs 610 grams. So this is a huge difference. This is a really huge difference. And if you're interested in the cassette, they have the same cassettes. That's 473 grams. That's it. Very interesting, guys. Other thing is also the saddles. The Merida Expert is much heavier than the one on the Physic on the Hacker, but then you have heavier saddle but lighter carbon seat post. Here you have lighter saddle with the heavier seat post. This is how it looks like. Okay, enough for the weight. So when you compare different bikes, like compare this one to Scott Scale 910. Look at different components. Look at those components, check out the weights. I'm gonna be doing very detailed reviews for you in my new studio very soon, starting June, July. And then we will also weigh the very naked frames. And my patrons will help with that a lot. So more about that very soon. How these two bikes ride. I know, guys from the US, California, cheers to you. I know these are not available in your country, in your area. But as for the geometry, both bikes ride very well. My height, I am 182 centimeters tall. Large, medium. I would even prefer medium. At least in this geometry, I feel faster in the corners. Man, I do feel. I was doing very well on the polish cap on this one, but here I feel like I'm gaining more time using this bike. Medium, still feeling great. These bikes are good quality. The cable routing is well made. The bottom bracket shells are really robust. No noises from that. So I am loving those bikes. And the best upgrade for the Merida would be better saddle and the XT shifters. Those make a difference, and I'm gonna make a video about that. If you have any further questions, put those in the comments. That's it, guys. So this is the story of how you can go from 10.9 to 11.9 just by swapping the components of two bikes which actually weigh 11.5 kilograms. Thanks for watching and see you soon, guys. Bye bye.